Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. This is Dan Andersson in Oxford, wishing you a hearty welcome to our Global Associate Meeting. We're just in the last push into the season's greetings time of year with our UK being paralyzed by snowstorms. And well, snowstorms is a little bit exaggerated. I was traveling this weekend and we had several centimeters of snow, and of course the motorways were absolutely paralyzed and what have you. But this is the time of year we're in. We're trying to push everything through before we get to the end of the year, basically. And there's an awful lot of stuff going on. But more particularly on this call, we are actually doing something monumental. On this call, we are launching the Leo Gold Vault project, which, as you know, is the first stepping stone towards Leo banking. And I have that as the main focus of this call. We've got some other things to talk about, and we'll do that in brief at the very end of it. But the big news of the hour is Leo Gold. And as you can see on your screen, this is something that is a new strand to our business. This is something new to our ecology. This is something that we've been working on and pushing for a long time. And where this sits in our business is something that for me is very interesting, because on the one hand, we are living in 2017. The world is moving very, very fast. There's an awful lot of recognition that digital stuff is real. Digital assets, digital currencies are making a big disruption of all sorts of incumbents and vested interests, and that in itself is absolutely extraordinary times to be alive in. But on the other hand, we're now launching a gold service that almost goes back to ancient principles of stability and long-term and value propositions that are not built on fluff or some sort of intangible asset. Sometimes when we're marketing e-learning, or when we're marketing our digital currency stuff, or when we're doing different things in that sort of space, people who are new to us sometimes get a bit confused, and they sometimes try to stretch their brains to understand what this is. But gold is something, as I've said to you before, that all cultures of the world understand. Every subcontinent, every country, every history has references and understanding of what gold is. And in the context where we're launching this as a product within Leo, every member, every customer will be able to have something that is concrete, physical, in their hand, something that exists in the real world. And we're very, very excited by that. Now, to get into this conversation here and get into this launch webinar, I have none other than the inimitable Andy Hansen online, who's going to help me and who's going to be talking to you more about this, because I have to give some credit and some recognition to Andy, because without him, I don't think that this project would have happened. He has brought this to the table and invested an awful lot of his external creativity and his enthusiasm and his energy and his connections into making this, one, something that we wanted to do very, very keenly, but two, he also enabled that to happen for us. So we're going to be talking on this presentation here between him and me about why everyone should be interested in this, and how the structure is going to work around this, who is the gold supplier, which was the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle that I've been talking to you about for the last couple of months, really. I've not been able to tell you who this was, and it was kind of the one thing that I wanted to share with you, but I couldn't until we had it established, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how we're going to use this as a sales platform, and how we're going forward with this in terms of the timeline of Leo Gold. Now, as I alluded to, this is step one of the Leo banking project, and we've set it up with that in mind. So this will be a standalone thing to the Leo business. It will obviously be part of our ecology, be part of our activities and what we're doing. But Andy made the point when we were speaking to the Chinese earlier that nothing stops in Leo because we're launching gold. This is not something that's taking away from anything, but the contrary, it kind of just adds benefits to every area of our business. The Chinese are getting incredibly excited by this, and I know that many of you will be as well. But if you're not, if you are someone who is totally unimaginative, totally uninterested in gold, and totally don't get what this is about, that's absolutely fine, because the rest of the wider business of Leo is still there for you to enjoy and benefit and make profit from, and help other people with. So it kind of doesn't detract from anything. But when you see what we have in mind for this and how it fits into our ecology, I think that you're going to agree with me that this is something that adds an awful lot of value. Now, Andy Hansen, are you there?
I am, Mr. Dan, and I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me onto the webinar. And it's always good to do. You know, it's great doing webinars with the Chinese, but obviously we always have the language barrier, and we have to have the translator, which sort of slows everything up. So it's nice to be able to do a webinar in English to all of you, and hi to all of you wherever you are in the world. This is a really, really exciting day for Leo, as I'm sure you're going to agree. When we get
bear in mind that we do have people.
It's very, very. We can hear you, Dan. I don't know if you know that, but I think you're having a conversation with someone else at the same time.
No, I wanted you to just slow down a little bit, because we have an awful lot of people on the call whose first language is not English, and we actually have several hundred people on the call, because we also know that people are huddling around computers all over the world. So I think that you and I have to be cognizant of our enthusiasm should not translate into speed of speech.
And that's always one of my problems. Jeff in marketing, bless him, is always ticking me off for speaking too quickly. So I'm going to pretend I'm talking via a translator, and hopefully that will slow it up for everybody. Okay, so why should any of us be interested in buying gold, I guess, is really the question. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see there that it's showing 4 areas that one looks to invest in when you're creating wealth. When you're looking to secure your financial future and invest in things, etc., etc. And obviously, as an education company, Leo's goal is to ensure that we give people the information that they need to be able to do things like wealth creation, along with hundreds of other topics that we have in our learning platform. But when we look at wealth creation, these 4 areas were stocks, shares, and bonds. We're looking at property, so owning a house, owning properties, red things like that, disruptive technology, and then the last one, precious metals and diamonds. So really, Leo Gold is, if you like, finalizing the puzzle of Leo. It's the last piece that enables us now to help our members not only learn and earn, but also to take ownership in all of these areas. And that's why gold's so important. It's also something that is understood by anybody. It crosses all language barriers, it crosses all cultures, and pretty much you could go anywhere in the world and talk to people about gold, and they're going to understand the value of it and why it is something that for thousands of years has been something that the rich and the wealthy have invested in and put money into, because it's a very stable thing. It's something that when it's there and it's in the vault, it's going to increase in value. Yeah, it goes up and down like anything can, but over the last 40-50 years, when you look at what's happened with gold, and we look at that, it has an upward trend constantly. So it's not something that's going to make you a multi-millionaire overnight, but it is something that everybody understands the value of investing in gold and why it's an important thing to do. And that's really why it's come to the table.
Yeah, but hold on just a minute there, because when you say that everyone should invest in gold, do you mean that literally?
Yes, absolutely. Your granny, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, your uncles, everybody we know should be investing in gold on a regular basis.
According to their means, of course.
Yeah, and that's where we're different, because we're offering gold to the masses. We're offering it to them in 1 gram bars. And if we look at this slide, we see that a kilo of gold is 30,000 pounds. So that takes the vast majority of people that we all know out of the equation. But that's not our goal as a company. Our goal is to offer gold to the masses by starting at a 1 gram bar. And everybody should have some gold in their portfolio. They should, absolutely. And we're focusing, unlike most of the other gold bullion sellers who want to sell the big bars, we're focusing on letting people invest a gram at a time, so that we're opening it up to the whole world. It doesn't matter whether you're in the Philippines or India or Pakistan, Germany, the UK, America. It doesn't matter where you are. You should be able to invest in at least 1 gram of gold per month and start to build up that asset base within the vaults, so that you've got that money for a rainy day, or you've got it for your retirement, or whatever your dreams, plans and goals are. And really what we're offering is the ability for our friends, family and loved ones and our members to invest in gold just by exchanging their cash for gold. That's all they're doing.
But in 2017, sort of in the world that I grew up in, and then a little bit later you grew up in, there was always a very, very strong savings ethics. I remember my parents drilling into me that I should save money for a rainy day, and I should put money by every week, every month, and somehow that's kind of almost being disincentivized today, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it has, because as we see on the next slide, people were saving in the bank, and that was, or under the bed, and saving your money in the bank. If we look on here, if you were just saving, say, £10 a day for the last 30 years, so these are real numbers, your money, you'd have put in 109,000, and it would be worth 178,000 today. So on the face of it, it doesn't look bad. But now let's look at the equivalent saving in gold on the next slide, where the same amount of money invested in gold. The what?
These graphs look very similar.
Well, they look similar because they're both upward trending. But now let's lay them both over each other and see the difference. So the next slide will show us that. Look at the difference between saving in the bank versus actually saving with gold. There's an enormous difference. You know, if this was someone's retirement fund, this is a big, big difference in money, nearly £400,000 in difference with exactly the same investment in the same period of time. So this is not something unique that Leo's made up, but what is unique is we're creating a proposition for customers where whatever their circumstances are, they've got an easy, low entry level into saving gold. They don't need to find £30,000 to buy a kilo bar. They can just buy 1 gram a month, every month, nice and consistently. And that way, they're really going to start to develop their wealth protection for the future. So this isn't, as Dan said, it's not to replace Leo Coin or Tower or Crowd or any of the projects we've got. It's just really the final piece of the puzzle. Now we've got a nice rounded portfolio, and we also have the ability to now go back to people that didn't get cryptocurrency, go back to people that didn't get e-learning and say, okay, you didn't get that, but here's our latest proposition. And why should you invest in gold? And Miha's done a tremendous video, which is available, on why everybody should be investing in gold. So,
yeah, because I mean, this is very strong in countries like China and in Asia. I'm not sure in Europe really, because I don't know if I grew up in a place where people told me that you should get gold for a rainy day kind of thing.
Well, I mean, certainly China and Pakistan, India are the biggest consumers of gold currently. Historically, they weren't. But that doesn't mean that the Europeans aren't ready to sit up and listen and think, well, hang on a minute. We've all seen the sterling going down, we've seen euro up and down, we've seen the US dollar going up and down, currently going down. And in these times where people are a bit uncertain, they look for something that's a bit more stable, and gold is the answer. Not for all of their money, but they certainly should be putting a portion of their money into gold. So let's look at Leo Gold Vault, because as Dan said, this is a standalone thing, a business that's been set up, that's part of our ecology or whatever you want to call it. And it's important that as members we understand how it works, who is doing what within this process of Leo Gold. So on the next slide, what you'll see is Leo Gold Vault is a company that was set up in the United Kingdom, and it's been set up as a standalone business, and its job is to supply Leo and our individual country operations, etc., with the gold bars it wants, with the gold services it wants, limited edition products, etc., that it needs and wants. And so that stands outside of our normal Leo infrastructure. And then The reseller, if you will, is Leo and the Leo companies. So as members, what we're doing is reselling the products of Leo Gold Vault. And you'll see on that slide that so the Leo Gold Vault is the distributor, and our Leo companies, the ones that have been selected, are the actual resellers of the gold. And then finally, we have our supplier. And the supplier, which Dan's going to reveal to you all in a moment, is without doubt #1 in the world. And their job is to find the gold ethically, to mint the gold, and to create the products that we want. Those products being gold bars, or those products being fine gold Leo coins, or whatever it is. So there's 3 component parts to this proposition. We've got the supplier, who actually finds the gold, mints it, etc. for us. That is then the responsibility of Leo Gold Vault, which is a new business, and they're the distributor. And then finally, our existing companies become the reseller. And there's contracts between each of those entities to allow that process to work seamlessly. But it's important that we all understand the way it's been set up, and it's been set up that way for particular reasons that work best for the business, because as a distributor, we're able to then look at other services and other things that would be applicable to Leo's needs and the members' needs to make Leo Gold a success. So that leads us on to Leo Gold Vault supplier. And who that supplier is, and why everybody's so excited that knows, the few that know, who that supplier is. So with that, I'll hand back to Dan.
No, thank you, Andy. But this structure is important to understand because, again, like we always do, we're very transparent with how we run our business. And this is important for our members and our leaders on this call to understand that there is no hanky-panky here. There has been in the past examples of companies with questionable practice that were marketing gold through some sort of MLM compensation plan, and it used to be the joke of the day back maybe 5 years ago when I was looking at this, and when Leo was just starting, that there was lots of things where people were selling gold that then the customer never got, and what they could actually do is you can buy more gold that you also won't get. Our thing is very, very different to that, because what we want to do is we want to get as much physical gold out in the market as possible, because when we know that when you speak to people and you can show them a piece of gold, when you can show them a 10-gram bar of gold, for instance, you can show them a gold coin, for instance, the reality of that turns into one of these things that you don't have to do any more selling after you've sort of shown that. This is what I got when I purchased my gold, and suddenly it sort of all just makes sense and works. Now, Leo Gold Vault sits as in the middle of this business relationship, and it does that very, very clearly for a reason, because this is the company that ultimately will end up doing something with Leo banking, if you like, because this is where all of the accounts will sit, and this is where people will hold their gold balances, etc., as we go forward with the fully developed business model. So this is something that we've been talking about all year, that this is step 1 in a much, much bigger journey. Now, we have massive aspirations for this, because I think that it's absolutely possible with the direct selling business model built on duplication and global business like we have now. We could become the #1 gold retailer in the world. We really could. And that's our aspiration. So this is not a small business that we're launching, but it's only step 1 in a much bigger journey. And therefore, our partner, our supplier, is what we would call in Crufts, the English dog show, we would call best of breed. The partner that we have tended up with, when it was first presented to me, I actually didn't believe that Leo could partner with someone like that. I thought, well, hold on a minute, how many distributors do they have? What, 18? And they would allow us to be their 19th distributor. But through the good work that we've done, and through the credibility we have as an organization, through some of the PR work that we've done in the UK with Number 10 Downing Street, and with the Parliament stuff that we've been doing, and with the high-flying PR activities that we've done all over, we actually have a bit of credibility in the marketplace now. One of the things that, no, I better not tell you about that. We've got some other big things happening that I must be quiet about. Can't help myself. So let me instead reveal, without further ado, who the supplier of the gold that we are going to let you market to your friends and your family and your community. That is none other than the best in breed, #1 partner in the world for anything like this, namely the Royal Mint Refinery. Now, if you don't understand who this is, then do a little bit of a search on the internet and what have you. Do not repost any links or anything like that on your social media, because we're not allowed to do that. But the partnership that we have is with the Royal Mint, which is a company that goes back, I heard 800 years recently, but if you look how long there's been a Royal Mint going in the UK, around the Tower of London and in the City of London, we're talking about 1,000 years of tradition, craftsmanship and heritage. And this company is kind of 800 years old, and they even now produce coins for some 61 countries. It means that the loose change that you have in your pocket might very well come from this company. They're known worldwide as one of the top tier suppliers of mintage of coins, and they can produce 90 million coins of bars per week. So this is not a small manufacturer. They have vaults in the UK, Europe, USA, and in China. And what is important for many people on this call is that this is Sharia compliant. This has got Sharia standard on gold. So this is something that all people can engage with without any issues whatsoever. Now, I have to tell you that the reason that this is what I've been waiting for to speak to you about for several months now, because this was ongoing. We thought it was going to be an easy process. Well, we didn't think it was going to be easy. We thought it was going to be quicker. But this was the final piece in the puzzle, that this little Leo company that roars has managed to strike a partnership with, as one of 19 suppliers in the world, one of 19 distributors in the world, with the Royal Mint Refinery. And this is, for us, extraordinary as an opportunity. But I'll invite Andy to come back and talk about some of the upsides of this, and some of the things that we are not allowed to do, because we have to, and you have to, look after this relationship. You have to make sure that you run a clean business. You have to make sure that you don't do exaggeration and you don't do hyperbole, that you don't do hanky-panky, because this is precious. So Andy, are you there?
Thanks, Dan. And you know, this is for everybody that's been involved, from Dan and the board and the gold team that have been pushing this project forward, to get this deal done and to get us the ability to launch Leo Gold using products that are supplied to us via Leo Gold Vault, but ultimately coming from the Royal Mint, is just unbelievable. This is something we should all be immensely proud of, but we obviously also need to ensure we protect that status, if you like, of having the ability to do this. Now, there's some stuff we can do and there's stuff we can't do. So let's look at the positive stuff first. You can use company produced marketing materials. Anything that comes from the company that's officially produced by the company, you can of course use. Any use of company produced videos, like the one that Mihir done, which is a tremendous video, which sells the reasons why people all over the world are turning to gold and why Leo Gold should be their choice. You can use company produced Facebook posts, etc., and they're being produced by the media team, but you can't modify them. You have to use them exactly as they are produced for you. You can use the Twitter messages that are produced by the company. You can show your own gold, obviously, to prospects, and that's one of the real reasons that there's a marketing pack which includes physical gold in it that's going to be shipped to you. Now, of course, this is a brand new thing for the company, because everything that Leo's done in the past has been virtual or digital, and now we're into having the logistics of having to have gold and those marketing packs shipped all around the planet. You can also use your 100% discount cards to help close sales when you're introducing new members to the team. We'll talk about that more later. And you can also help your team to develop a customer base, and you should promote Leo Gold Vault as the supplier to Leo and its gold. If we look at the next slide, these are things we definitely can't do, because we need to protect such a prestigious relationship. And we don't want any problems with the relationship through silliness, or as Dan calls it, hanky-panky. So we definitely do not create our own marketing materials in and around gold. We do not create our own videos. We don't create our own Facebook posts or Twitter messages. We don't create our own PowerPoints. We do not sell gold value packs as an investment, because the value pack for gold is designed for people that want to develop a Leo business. They want to develop a customer base, and they want to create a substantial residual passive income. And if your uncle wants to invest £30,000 in gold, then it's not a smart idea to sell him 15 value packs, because he's not getting a good return on his money, because he's buying 15 businesses. He's not actually buying £15,000 worth of gold, whatever he wants. If he wants to invest in gold, he can as a customer. We do not, under any circumstances, use the Royal Mint logo unless it is being already placed on an official company document or poster or Twitter feed or whatever it is. So you can't just take the Royal Mint logo and start slapping it all over anything you fancy. It is a protected, a highly protected logo and brand. And the most important one, we cannot make any false claims. We're not financial advisors. We enable the masses to buy gold and to vault it with us, and on a rainy day or in the future when they want to, they can sell it back to us and they will have made a return. But we cannot predict returns, and we don't give financial advice because we're not financial advisors. And it's very important that from day one we get this right. And I know that everybody that's online this evening or this afternoon is obviously committed to their Leo business and committed to the brand, and we all need to be committed to working within these guidelines, because this is a unique proposition. There is not a direct sales company on the planet that has a relationship with the Royal Mint, and yet here we are today revealing to you all that the Royal Mint is the company that will produce and will give us the gold bars and the coins that we require to be able to develop our businesses successfully. So this is very, very, very important. Okay, next slide. Let's look at the pre-launch sales and the special offer that. Yes, sorry, Dan.
Before you go there, Andy. So for some of our speakers whose English is not their first language, so this is the Royal Mint. What does that actually mean?
Well, the Royal Mint is the oldest mint, they believe. No one's challenged that fact in the world. And historically, they were responsible for minting British coins and also producing high-end jewelry and gifts, particularly for the royal family, and also the storage of gold. Because obviously in the past, royal families created wealth and held wealth primarily in gold. That's how they did it, collecting taxes, etc. So this is a British institution. I mean, this is, it's hard to explain to people that aren't in the United Kingdom, because it's a protected organization. I mean, they have exclusive rights to do exclusive things, and without doubt, they produce some of the most beautiful commemorative and legal tender coins and bars that are available in the world. I mean, this is, it's a big deal for Leo to be able to resell their product.
And there is actual royal connections.
Oh, historically, yes, that's how it was. It was formed for the protection of the royal family's wealth and their gold and what they wanted to do with that stuff. And over the years, it's sort of changed and it's modified to today it is a commercial enterprise, and that's why they make so many coins for 60 plus countries around the planet, because those countries know they produce quality product, and product that can be trusted, and so they continue to want to have them minted by the Royal Mint.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
So let's look at our pre-launch of the sales and the special offer that we're making to you today, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a limited time, and it is a limited availability offer. And for the vast majority of you, this will be the first time you've probably seen this, unless you were at the recent executive trip in Dubai. So the next slide will show you the actual marketing pack that each of our members will receive when they purchase a 12-month value pack. Now, this without doubt is the best in the marketplace as regards what we're offering. So within this pack, not only do you get the welcome letter from Dan and other materials about our core line and our online learning and all the other stuff that the company offers, but you'll also see there on the gold folder a black card, and that card entitles you, the owner of this 12-month value pack, to 10% discount off any limited edition Leo Gold products that you purchase in the future. So this could include, for example, the fine gold, pure gold Leo Gold coins, physical coins. You'll also see there an actual bar of gold, and in the 12-month gold value pack, you'll get a 10-gram bar of fine gold. You'll get 10 100% discount cards. Now that won't mean anything at the moment, but this is a sales tool that we will teach you how to use so that when you're talking to prospective team members, you're able, when you're sat with them, to give them one of these discount cards, which will discount their purchase of a value pack by £100. And you'll also see 4 live seminar tickets, which has now become, without doubt, our flagship product as regards training. 25, I think there were this year, 25 live seminars this year, all over the world, different countries. Over 25,000 people attended those seminars, and that will continue, and we will continue to develop that. And it's also very important because with the gold business, you're going to have to learn about gold and how we sell it to potential customers and how we sell it to potential team members. So as a pack, it's a great pack. And you'll see on the next slide, the great news is that Dan and the board have gifted each of the members that purchases their 12-month gold pack in this pre-sale period a £100 discount card. So it's as if you're being given one of those cards we just looked at. So you'll only pay £1,900 for the pack. It has the normal marketing plan attached to it, so it will be treated as a normal value pack as regards to commissions and payouts, etc., and rank points, 1,600 rank points. But there's only 1,000 of these packs available. Now, we did this webinar a couple of hours ago for China, and the Chinese team have already started purchasing their packs. So, you know, this is something you need to really make a move on, and don't delay, because when the 1,000 have gone, they're gone. We're only releasing 1,000 in this pre-sale scenario. And what this does is it means that you're going to be in a position where you're a gold 12-month value pack holder. You've got your 4 live seminar tickets. You've got your 12-month 10% discount card. You've got your 10 £100 discount vouchers and 10 grams of gold. And you'll get the training and access to the webinars we'll be doing so that when we launch physically to members of the public and we go live with everything, then you've had the training and you're ready to go. So you're really developing your team now, ready for the launch of gold. But this is limited. When the 1,000 are gone, they're gone. And these packs are discounted by £100, and the packs will be shipped out to you in the first week of January. So you'll get them second week of January, depending where you are in the world. And we'll talk about delivery more as we go through the presentation. So this is a very limited time offer. And it's for people that want to build a Leo business, and in particularly now want to build a Leo Gold business. This is not for someone that just wants to buy a pack, sit back and wait for returns. This is about actually having the training and the ability to sell gold to members of the public.
So this, just to make that clear as well, because you made the point earlier, but so come the first week of January, they will receive a physical package, right?
A physical package through the post by secure mail.
Yeah.
And in there will be all the items they can see on the screen, and probably for them most importantly will be that 10-gram bar of gold.
Yeah, and I've seen you do this presentation in Dubai when we had the executives over there, and you had a 10-gram piece of gold there that you circulated around the room. Do you remember?
Yes, yeah.
And I mean, riddle me this. I mean, how heavy? I mean, I know the obvious answer is it's 10 grams.
Yes.
But when you hold it in your hand, what's it like?
Well, it's surprising because 10 grams doesn't sound a lot, but 10 grams in your hand actually is quite a weight. It's not something you would not know is in your hand. and it's presented beautifully in a Royal Mint case. You know, it's sealed, so it's airtight because you don't want the air getting to the gold or people's mucky fingers going on there. And it's got the unique reference number on it, which is on the bar and on the packaging and the barcode. It's a beautiful thing to be able to show somebody, you know. And I guess if you imagine it the size of a credit card, the actual packaging, the gold represents about a sixth of that size, but it's quite thick and it's a good weight. It's nice to have. It's a great sales tool to show somebody when you're talking about gold.
No, exactly that. Because I mean, one of the things that we are now, we're a 5-year-old company. So I mean, to be fair to all of you on this call, I'm actually a little bit nervous about this, because to ship out physical items is quite a challenge for us, and we've never done that before. And of course, one of the things that will flow from that is, come the 1st of January, if you are in a market somewhere and you can start to show people this physical pack, the pack itself will do an awful lot of your work for you to make this real in people's minds. Up until now, we've been a digital business, we've been an online business, we've had e-learnings, and some of those are terrific. But to be able to give people a physical thing in their hand that's beautifully produced, plus the 10-ton weight of a 10-gram piece of gold, there's something that's absolutely magic about that. And you will just be signing up people on the basis of, I'd like a pack like that as well. And this is kind of us stepping into maturity by getting involved in logistics and setting up our logistical infrastructure through our hubs and through our systems. So this is very, very cool, because we're not talking about virtual gold here. We're talking about physical gold that people will get in their hands. Now, if we go forward here, if we're looking at the launch of this is the very first time that all of you on this call, hundreds of you, are hearing of this. And of course, I can see my screen, I can see all sorts of questions popping up and what have you. So we're going to do our very, very best to educate you and your members about all of this. Andy, talk to this slide here about the launch webinar strategy that we have.
So what we're going to do is, obviously, for everybody that purchases the 12-month gold value pack, they will be invited to attend one of these webinars, depending where they are in the world, either the Chinese or the English one. And we'll conduct these on the 2nd of January, so first day back really after the new year. Dan, myself, and me here will be presenting, and in that we're going to get into the finite detail of how you present and how you sell the business, the Leo business, using gold as the leader, and how you close the sales with potential team members. So it's going to be quite a lengthy webinar. It'll probably be just over an hour. There's a lot of information to share, but this is vital for you to be able to develop and bring new blood into your Leo business, because that's an important thing in the direct sales business, is to bring new blood in all the time to enable you to develop your business. And at the same time, it will also teach you how you'll be able to take it into your teams, and how your teams will then be able to start talking about gold as well, revisiting old lists of people that said no because they didn't understand digital currency, and people that said no because they didn't get e-learning. This gives us a very broad approach now to our friends, families, and prospects, because everybody understands gold. And that webinar is going to be vital, and we can only have 500 people on each one. So again, it's a first come, first served as regards to, you get your gold value pack, then we can get you registered straight away for the webinar, and make sure that you're on that. So we kick off the new year, each and every one of us marching very quickly towards our own dreams, plans, and goals.
Andy, slow down.
It's the excitement, it's killing. We'll be able together to then start making your dreams, plans, and goals a reality, and also making the company's dreams, plans, and goals a reality, because Dan and the board have got big targets for 2018, and it will be something that's very, very important to be able to understand how we're doing it and why we're doing it. So that will be the webinar on the 2nd of January. Okay, so let's look at the timeline so everybody understands where we're at and where we're headed. So we've released today, and they're available now in the back office. You can actually get in there and order your own 12-month gold pack, and the pre-sale of those has gone live today. They're already selling. 2nd of January, we will have our global launch webinar. And on that webinar, all of our 3 gold value packs will be released. 11th of January latest will be the gold and marketing packs being shipped via our new shipping agent and partner, which is DHL. And that is a global contract that we have with DHL, and it's secure mail, so that you receive your pack and, more importantly, your gold physically through the post to your house. In February, we will put our first limited edition solid gold Leo coin on pre-sale. Now, this is only available to members that have purchased a 12-month value pack, and you use your 10% discount card when you place that order. And then following that, we will then in March go live to the world with our gold auto save program, which is where we start to amass millions of customers who are investing in a minimum of 1 gram of gold a month on their actual saving plan with Leo Gold. So this is very, very important that we get this right, and we launch in March for all of our customers.
Very cool. Now, when we're looking at this stuff, there's already a couple of questions in the chat box here. But Sakit Nawaz is asking, a 10-gram gold bar from Royal Mint is £329. Then why is it costing so much via Leo? And one of the things that is hard for beginners to understand, because if you look at the value pack, one of the things that is carried there as a hard and a fixed cost is a marketing plan that pays out 60% of commissionable value. So in other words, 60% of our revenue that we pull in, we pay back to the field to make that sale happen. Now, up until now, we've been selling e-learning, and we've been selling live seminars, and we've been selling different phones and different Leo L phones this and L phones that, and we've had many offerings. But this is the first time that we put out a product pack where we have a hard cost factored into it. And when we compare what we're doing to what some of the competition is doing, we are being incredibly fair and generous with the value that's going in here. But like Andy said, this is not a way to buy gold. This is a way to buy an entire package and start a gold selling business, if you like. This is if you have a rich uncle that wants to buy 1 kilo of gold, you have to send him to somewhere where he can get the 1 kilo of gold spot rate. We are selling for the consumers. We're selling for the small individuals. We're not selling gold as an investment for countries or for very, very rich individuals. So if you want to do just purchase gold without a Leo business opportunity attached to it, then you're absolutely free and at liberty to do that. And you should, if you have that sort of strategy. That's what we're launching when we're launching the savings plan for the masses, for the ordinary people who should be having a diversified savings strategy. That's where they're buying at the international and global spot rates with a compensation plan on it, which is, again, something we'll talk to when we get to that point. But the auto-save product is for the customers. It's for the people that just want to purchase gold. This is for people that are not so interested in direct selling and MLM. They're not interested in. They could be less bothered about having a compensation plan or a discount or some sort of commission or what have you. They're not interested. They just want to get the gold. This is what you can sell them, and when you do, you will earn a commission. And Andy, I know that you're passionate about this product. Come on, get in here and tell me a little bit more about it.
I think I am very passionate about gold, and since we started this journey for Leo Gold, you know, I guess I've become a bit fixated with it and started collecting my own because I couldn't wait for autosave, but I'm ready for when autosave comes. I think just stepping back one on the gold value pack, because that's a good point that the questioner raised, but the value pack is for someone that wants to be able to resell gold. It's not for someone that wants to invest in gold. That's what this on the screen is for. And if you look at the value pack, you've got 4 live seminar tickets in there, which are £125 a piece. So straight away, that's £500. Then you've also got 10 of the £100 discount cards in there, which is worth £1,000. You've also got your 10 grams of gold, which can be, I think on today's rate is about £338, but it's been at a high of £550 this year. So if we go on the 338, just as an example, And then you've got your access to the core line and online learning platform, etc. So just the gold, the live seminar tickets and the 10 discount cards gives you a value of £1,838 before we add in all the other things that's in there. So that is a business, if you like, it's a gold business in a box. It's not for someone that just wants to invest straight in gold. That's what autosave's for. And autosave in itself is a unique thing that we've created with Leo, because it enables anybody and everybody to be able to save on a regular basis in small amounts of gold, so a gram upwards, so they can have a gram, 5 grams, 10 grams, 100 grams, it's up to them. It's not for someone looking to purchase a kilo, because that's not the market we're aiming at. We're aiming at the market that all the other companies ignore. And by having the smaller bars and enabling people to store their gold for free with us and to have it insured for free, to be able to see their balance and to be able to sell their gold back to Leo at any time if they so want to, we're now offering something very, very unique. And for the vast majority of our members online today, in the countries they live, you cannot buy Royal Mint gold in those countries from a distributor because there aren't any. So this is a very unique proposition that we're able as members to resell Royal Mint gold to our friends, family and loved ones in our own countries, and in many cases in countries where currently you wouldn't be able to buy Royal Mint gold from a supplier in that country. So this is a great proposition to enable us to go to mass customer acquisition. And that has a big impact on the earning potential of all of us as members, because we're now in a position where we can sell Leo Gold once to a friend, family or associate. They sign up for autosave and they pay the spot rate on the day, the going rate for gold when they purchase gold with us. It's vaulted for free, it's insured for free, and we're going to teach you how to attract 5 customers, just 5 customers each. You can have a lot more if you want, it's not a maximum, but just 5 each. And for that, you will receive a direct commission, because gold has its own compensation plan. And the commission you'll receive on that is 10%, and you'll receive that every month that the gold is ordered. And they simply put in their credit or debit card details, and each month, unless they cancel the order, they will receive that gold. It will be allocated for them in the vault, and the payment will be processed, and you'll receive your commission. Now that in itself is not going to make anybody online today wealthy or make their dreams come true. But when we put in the magic work of duplication within our business, direct sales is about duplication. Simple, easy to duplicate models, and we push that down up to 10 levels using the same principle of just 5 customers each. Look at what's achievable. You could be on a business very, very quickly where over 10,000 grams of gold each month are being auto-saved by customers of our team, and you'll be rewarded with a 2% gold team bonus from the company up to 10 levels deep, which means that you would be earning over £10,000 a month purely from customers that have bought into auto saving with Leo Gold. We sell it once and we have a repetitive order that goes month in, month out, and each month we get paid. This now lifts the cap. There is no cap on your earnings with Leo Gold because it sits in its own unique compensation plan. This is a unique opportunity for all of us. It enables us now really to put that final piece of the puzzle in to what we do when we talk about learning, earning and owning, because we've now got disruptive technologies that people can own in. We've got property portfolios, and we've got Leo Tower and all those things that people can potentially have ownership in. Now we have gold they can have ownership in, and of course then we have coming the Day 7 project, which people can potentially have ownership in. This is about Leo really coming of age, and it's a lot to take on as a company. It would have been easier for Dan and the board to say no, because this is a physical product that has to be physically shipped, and when we're holding gold we have responsibilities, independent audits and all of that sort of thing every month, so that it's completely transparent. And every single one of our Leo Gold customers have confidence knowing they're buying probably the world's finest gold, raw mint gold, and that it's secure and safe within the Leo Gold Vault system, and it's independently audited every single month. This really can revolutionize all of our businesses. We just get behind it as a team and follow the next few months through, and we'll just see exactly where it can take us all.
No, thank you for that, Andy. And I think it's important to point out that we're just, again, being realistic with our projections here. We're saying that everyone is saving 1 gram of gold, but of course we know that people might want to save 10 gram of gold. There are industry averages here that we've seen from some competitors, where it seems that the average monthly sale of gold is kind of 7 grams, something of that order. When we look at this business maturing, we're thinking that about 50% of the gold will be moved through the packages and 50% will be moved through the savings programs. And that means that when we get to Dr. Amir Abbas's point here, that the gold is very expensive. Well, when we're looking at the 1 gram gold, it'll be sent at the global internationally accepted spot rate. So it'll be exactly the same as you would buy if you were buying it from the gold souk in Dubai or anywhere else like that. But because we are a commodity, dealing with a commodity where we can buy at the kilo rate, and we can pass on the saving in the compensation plan. So you'll be able to sell to friends and family and people that want to secure their family's future at the internationally accepted price, plus we can give you a commission for doing that. There's something about that is just such a win-win all round. So we are launching this now with the Leo Gold packs, and the advantages there that Andy shared, they are clear to anyone who's a networker. If you're not a networker, that's absolutely fine. You might have to wait until you can start your savings program with us in March. March will be here in 5 minutes. The possibilities of this are very, very big. Now, like we've said, this doesn't take away from anything that we're doing in terms of the excitement that we have around the digital market service, etc., and all of our e-learning. It's still our core business. But if we get to the stage where we could be the #1 reseller of gold, where we can be the #1 distributor of gold, and we can start to sell gold by the kilos, gold by the ton, suddenly we have step 1 of Leo banking done, because then we built up an asset base of people holding accounts where they have grams of gold, and we can create a bank that goes back to the gold standard. And so this is the bigger game that we're playing here, and you'll have to wait to see that one unfold. Now, Andy, do you have anything else you want to say on the gold just before we move on to sort of just a couple of quick wrap-ups here?
I think the only thing, Dan, is that you know, we've said it a couple of times, but gold isn't replacing anything. And actually, if you analyze the business and look at the business now, I honestly believe with the DMS and with gold, we've got the best of all worlds. We've got the ultra modern technology of mining for cryptocurrency, and a fantastic business model that everybody should be embracing with DMS. And then we've got the stability, the history, the tradition of gold, which is still a fantastic thing to be involved with. Combine the two, and I don't think there's many people we could speak to that are going to fall through the cracks. So I would be looking at the business from that viewpoint, that I've got DMS and gold, and between the two of them, I can pretty much get everybody either in the team or as a customer. And that's ultimately what we're looking to do, to help everybody get the incomes they require.
And I mean, I know that we don't talk about it, but we do have a lot of interest from the gold marketplace that's out there already in direct selling terms, haven't we?
Yes, we do. And some pretty big leaders. One in particular that has moved now 920,000. That's 920,000 grams of gold this year, is ready to come across to Leo Gold, because he thinks the proposition is cleaner. He loves the fact of who the supplier is, and he also likes the fact that he's got the other edge of the crypto with the DMS to offer something that's modern. You know, it's everybody's talking about it. It's the buzz thing, and he doesn't currently have that. He wants to be with a company with a 5-year record, that has both ends of the spectrum, as he puts it. He wants traditional gold, but he also wants to be able to have the modern disruptive stuff like cryptocurrency.
Very good. No, exactly. And I think people are still misunderstanding here. We're not saying that your customers should buy the gold value pack unless your customers want to become a gold reseller. If you have customers that want to buy gold, the gold pack makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, it's just nonsense unless they value e-learning, etc. The idea that gold businessmen should get involved with Leo to purchase gold for themselves at these rates, that doesn't make sense either. But for ordinary people, when the savings package comes through, you've got something that you can speak to ordinary people about. Why are ordinary people important? Well, it might be that the businessman has Leo coin. It might be that the businessman has an interest in the DMS. The more people we get into our ecology, the bigger our business is. The more people we get into our ecology, the greater the value of Leo coin is. So Leo Gold is a customer acquisition tool to speak to ordinary people about something that they can understand without having to go through all of the education about digital currencies, proof of stake mining, proof of work mining, all of these trustless systems and Bitcoin and Ethereum and Leo coin. All of that might be a bridge too far for people who would say, gold, I understand gold, I'm in, and then we can slowly upgrade them to become a contributing member to the wider Leo and Leo coin ecology. All of this stuff is to build a bigger and bigger marketplace, to build a bigger and bigger community. I'm not interested in your rich uncle. I'm not looking for investors at the moment. I'm looking for your young cousin who can build a social network using the tools where he's already plugged in. I want people who can help us build the community, not the pounds, dollars and RMB. We're not looking for investors at the moment. We're looking for community builders, because then we all win going forward. So important to understand that. Now, one of the things that we want to do more and more this coming year, 2018, is educate and train and connect with our leaders. So we've created a new leaders summit, which goes one step higher from the executive trip. So this is something for people who kind of are moving in the direction of becoming a director. This is something that sort of sits in that space where we're talking about real leadership and real leadership development program. So we created this thing, and we've only had it launched for like just over a week, I think. And it's kind of the same qualification requirements as for the carnival in Mauritius. Means that you sponsor someone, you help them get to associate, and you are qualified to go on this Leaders Summit. The first one is going to be in Marrakesh. And there's only going to be 300 people there, because we don't want to sort of try to connect with 3,000 leaders. We want to connect with 300 people to make it more exclusive. And so when the places are gone, the incentive ends, and you know that we will fill this place up, because we will break 300 associates over the next X months, 4 months. So we already have the first qualifier, and I'm very, very proud to announce here today that over the weekend, Mr. Yassin Kahoot, or whom I call Yassin Bai, my brother Yassin, who I've known for something like almost 10 years now, I think. He's a national marketing director, so he's not a small member. He's not a new member. He's not a young member. He's an old, established, old in a good way, a leader who. You could forgive him for being busy, because how does a new leader go out there and recruit a new person in November and get them to associate? That's because Yassin Bai is always focused on building new business. He's always focused on qualifying for everything. He qualified for every single thing that we've done in the time that he's been active in Leo. And because he's a leader of leaders, he wants to demonstrate that if he can do it with the time demands that he has, if he can do it, anyone can do it. So he is Leo's first qualifier for the Leaders Summit, and his sponsor and upline, Mr. Liaquat, is obviously very happy about this. So I grabbed this picture from Facebook, because they both look like they've got an awful lot of joy in them, and Liaquat will be as equally proud as I am that Yassin Bai has qualified for the Leaders Summit. So well done you, and well done you, Liaquat, for sponsoring him and for all the work that you're doing in Pakistan. So the digital market service is going fantastically well. We're seeing an awful lot of people, and of course, if you think that the sales of this are going well now, can you imagine what will happen when the first people who bought it start to get their rewards from it? Now, we modeled this, and we've been very careful how we promoted it and how we presented it. And what we've said is that we can't exaggerate what people will get. But at the moment, it's looking very, very positive. We're quite confident that as the first rewards go out, they'll be towards the higher end of what we said before. And again, this is not a promise that I can make, because it depends on market forces and what's happening in the real world, rather than the world where people have a slider in the back office and they can just set the price that they want their asset to have. This depends on real world dynamics, so we can't promise anything, but it's looking amazingly well. When those first rewards go out, our sales will increase tenfold, because then people will see. If you look at the timeline of that, that's the same time that they will have just received gold into their marketplaces. So suddenly people in the beginning of 2018 will have so many credibility drivers for our business that it will make our head spin. 2018, we're going into a new year. This will not be the year of conflict. This will be the year of growth. And I'm very, very grateful for all of you who work so hard as you do, and especially some people who deserve special recognition. Now, as you know, I have a strong respect for Liaquat Magre, and I think that in many ways, by many metrics, he is potentially Leo's #1 leader. Now, we have extraordinary Chinese-speaking leaders, we have extraordinary French-speaking leaders, we have extraordinary leaders all round in many different languages, but in terms of the Dubai region, and in terms of Pakistan, Mr. Magre is second to none. And he's a very humble man. He kind of doesn't like too much self-promotion or anything like this. And what I like especially about this article that we saw in Business for Home, where he was interviewed, he said, my #1 secret for success, my #1 is to always tell the truth. It's no secret to many of people on this call that we've had a tough year in 2017. And Liaquat has stood by me and has stood by Leo, and I like him being kind to us, and said that Leo always delivers whatever it commits to. But it's part of this imperative, this idea, this commitment to tell the truth. So we always tell it like it is, because if you don't, like Liaquat, I've heard Liaquat train on this, if you don't, then you have to face them later, and then they look at you and they think, you sold me, you told lies to me. How do I live with that? You much better to tell it like it is, and you will build a genuine relationship with your leaders and downline the way that Liaquat has for his leaders and his downline. So very, very proud to promote that. We are also, one of the reasons why I believe that we could get the Royal Mint to agree for us to be the 19th supplier or distributor for them, is we are starting to get such credibility and traction on our PR activities. Just in the last few weeks, I have been to number 10 Downing Street in the house of the UK Prime Minister. We have been to Parliament and done education in context of digital currencies and global business. We are organizing our next Houses of Parliament event, which will be a much bigger affair, and we are launching at that the Global Digital Currency Day. There'll be a day in the calendar that Leo Coin Foundation created. Now, one of the things that I do a lot is I write articles for Huffington Post, which is a big channel and a big media channel. And most lately, the government pushed out their industrial statement, and this was a 255 page document where they're going through industry, and one of the big pieces of that was fintech. They're saying that fintech is changing the way we bank. We all know that London is a center of fintech in the world. The London Stock Exchange is very, very credible and highly thought of. Yet, this 250 page document only had one line addressing digital currencies and cryptocurrencies. So again, it fails to support this disruptive sector that is coming along and changing anything. And so we continue with our lobbying, but I shared this on Facebook. And the reason that we have such an opportunity is because of weird things like this, that the government still doesn't understand, still doesn't recognize what is happening. And maybe it's they have a deliberate blind spot. Maybe the banks are pushing us. Who knows? I wouldn't want to get into that comment, but that's why you have an opportunity, because you still have an opportunity to educate your friends and your families and your communities about what's happening today with digital currencies. We had a big thing happen was with Bitcoin Wiki, which was this new Wikipedia page on Bitcoin, and we were the first altcoin that was invited to share about Leo coin on this platform. And since it launched, it's obviously been filling up with many other altcoins, but we were actually the very first altcoin that was invited to share about its currency. So we were very, very pleased about that. And I'm going to see if I can find Waqas Suhail, our general manager for the Dubai region, to come on and just briefly explain what happened with this photo here. Waqas, I'm unmuting you now. Can you hear me, Waqas?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Well done you.
Okay, thank you very much. Hi everyone. It's first of all, before I explain this picture, Dan, I took an opportunity that to congratulate everyone around the world who is in this call at the launch of Leo Gold.
Thank you.
And if you remember, like, a few months back, I was I was the critic among all of you.
Oh, so skeptical. Which is good.
I was such a skeptical about that. I was totally against this idea, but I'm really glad to see the way Andy and the team, they put everything together and bring the whole product in front of us. It's a tremendous product, extraordinary piece of work. And I really want to congratulate, and I want to say thanks to Andy for bringing everything together. And, I must say that all the challenges in my mind, which are, what I've faced, as well as the gold products are concerned in last 20 years in the field, he really addressed them very nicely, very well done. I really want to congratulate and everybody in Leo. It's an extraordinary products we have. Although all products we have are extraordinary, it's really a gem. Coming back to this picture.
It is interesting though, Waqas, because I think that one of our key things is if we go in and do things correctly and properly and transparently, I think we just win every single time.
True, very true. And you know what? It's proved. With Leo Gold, it's proved. As you know that, when you remember in Dubai, I was discussing this with you, that in my experience of the last 20 years, I never seen a proper successful gold product with the proper, management behind it. But I must say, we did it. We did it, and I think the credit goes to the team and Andy, who come up with the idea, and he really fixed everything. Congratulations, very well done, extraordinary.
Thank you, Waqas. Well, but tell me more about what happened here in Pakistan.
Yeah, that's a very I must say, and a memorable day in Pakistan. As you can see in this picture, we are standing with the chairman for FPCCI Standing Committee for Direct Selling, Sheikh Rashid Alam, and the new appointed president, retired squadron leader Umar Farooq. They are handing over us DSA Pakistan lifetime certificate, membership certificate, and it took them like 2 years to finalize it. And when I was with Rashid Alam, that what was the thing which makes them to decide to give us that beautiful certificate which has lifetime membership. He said, in last couple of years I attended few events of Leo in Pakistan as well as in Dubai, and actually I find out Leo, the company who's following right legislations, whatever the rules are there, they are following it. And the best part, the most important thing, the leaders, the members, which we at the Leo, we believe here they are the heart of our business. They always talk positive about Leo. He said he'd been to so many events of Leo, and he never met a single Leo member who was talking negative or is not happy with the Leo or Leo products. So he said, I really want to congratulate all of you. And actually, he wanted to present you, by the way, as you know, you were invited there.
I know. My head is hanging in pain.
Yeah, he wanted presented you over there. I took it over there. It was a memorable day, and I really want one more minute that I want to talk about my very dearly friend, Mehboob Shah Sahab, as I always call him Shahji, who actually initiated this DSAP Pakistan thing. And when we were receiving that, Sheikh Rashid Alam, he also took his name, that he was the one who supported him and really encouraged him to come up and start DSAP in Pakistan. So congratulations all Leo members to getting a lifetime membership from DSA Pakistan. So congratulations, Dan, you as well.
No, very, very good. Now, you've been quite a busy boy, haven't you, Wakas?
It's all thanks to you.
No, I'm sorry about that, but you also attended the board meeting for the DSA in UAE, I believe, just last week,
yes,
wasn't it?
Yeah. It was.
I know it's sensitive and kind of you have to be a bit discreet, but are there some things that you can share from that meeting?
Well, it was a journal AGM, annual journal meeting. A lot of things discussed over there, things about the laws in UAE, what's going on. The best part is this, that they really mention us in that meeting among all the companies who are become member in UAE DSA. Mention as one of the most fast growing company in the region. And one of those companies who is using technology in a very positive manner. They really applause us over there, and they actually I would like to take the name Mr. Ali Shabdar, who used very nice words for our company and appreciates our efforts towards creating a positive image of direct selling in the region.
And I know that not everyone on this call are sort of that involved in the Dubai region, but there are many people that are. And one thing that I'd like to share is I was very, very pleased that Wakas could get an invitation to the AGM there, because the UAE DSA, uniquely almost amongst all DSAs in the world, are actually working together with government in UAE, and they might be awarded the opportunity to vet direct selling companies coming into UAE, and therefore as a DSA, it's very, very nice to see that this progressive direct selling association is doing so well, and they actually might have real teeth to protect the industry from the scammers and the money games and the Ponzi schemes, because the government will turn to them and ask, is this a good company, yes or no? And I think it's very important to take on board that our commitment in Leo is to work with the DSAs, and they're not all perfect, but especially when they're progressive, like in the UK and with our latest DSA membership in Ireland and with our membership in the UAE and in Pakistan, it's very important for us to work with those people, because companies that pretend that the DSA is irrelevant, they are running a business that indeed that might be true in, because they are probably running a business that's a bit of a scam. So anyway, thank you, Wakas, and thank you for coming on the call here without any notice. I'm going to mute you and just carry on and finish, because this is the longest GAM in recorded history, I think. So we are progressing and we're moving forward. We are still promoting and working on our African expansion, so we still are very, very keen to get going into Africa, and especially taking our executive trip in 2018 in February to March to Marrakesh is an opportunity that will be interesting. It's a new idea for us. It's a new format because we've always done these in Dubai before, but we wanted to go to Marrakesh because Marrakesh is absolutely lovely. It's absolutely magical, and it's a bit of an entrepreneurial hot hub for anyone who's interested in building into Africa. So we're hoping our members are going to pick up on that. Finally, 17th of December is the expiration for when you can claim your tickets and buy-in for Mauritius. If you don't, if you come through on the 18th, you might become very disappointed because this is a sellout event, and don't miss out because some of the things that we're planning for this thing are making the hairs stand up on my arms because it's so exciting. So bottom line, if the Leo Gold was launched on this meeting, you can purchase the Leo Gold pack now if you're interested in using Leo Gold to build your business. If you want to buy gold, go down to the gold souk and buy gold. But if you want to build a gold business with Leo where you can market gold directly to the consumers and earn commissions on it, get yourself a gold pack now. There's lots of benefits and lots of advantages and reasons for that. But after 1 hour and 20 minutes, this is Dan Andersson saying thank you very much for your hard work, your commitment, and your loyalty to our company. You are constantly facing the scams out there. You're constantly facing the critics. You're constantly facing the misinformation, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, all the FUD that's going on. We are winning every battle that we fight, and not least our legal battles, where we will soon have some very, very cool, funny news for you. But any which way, this is Dan Andersson in Oxford saying thank you very much for being with us, and I'll speak to you again next Monday. Thank you very much indeed.